most about the early mornings is that the nature is awakening. I now see the birds and the cats, of course, very interested in them. Interested from the point of view of the bird song and them moving. Every single day is bringing us something new, right? Sometimes it's trying to do something differently. Sometimes it's just repeating the same things again and again until you realize it's not working. Or just waking up that one morning and saying, enough is enough, I want to do things differently. So, good morning to absolutely everyone, and how is your day starting off today? Are you getting ready for work? Maybe you're already on the way to work, or maybe you're not working today. Speaking of things done differently, I've started doing the live streams not long ago, and I thought I'll give it a go. I will just plainly give it a go. You know, it's always nice when there is a lot of engagement, but not always is that you are available for those hours with very good engagement. So I think this is the compromise that we always have to make. Things that sort of in order to be where you want to be, in order to get where you want to get professionally, personally, you have to try and do things. We learn from our mistakes, and mistakes are sometimes just things that didn't go to plan. Sometimes it is absolutely circumstantial, and we cannot be beating ourselves over something we didn't do or something we did do, but it wasn't good enough, really. I am a big believer into experience, so things are becoming better if you're trying to improve them, but also just by the virtue of you doing things, things are getting done. So if you're doing something for 5, 10, 15 years, you do see yourself in a situation where things are getting way easier for you than it was in the very beginning. So good morning everyone who is joining, and right now it's a beautiful morning, early morning. The day is only starting off, and what's on your mind? What is that you have set for yourself for today? And my name is Damante. I am a psychotherapist and counselor, so feel free to engage in the comments. Ask anything really that relates psychology, psychotherapy, behavioral psychology, and I will say that it is absolutely amazing to see this quiet morning, to see the new day right ahead of me. So, how things are feeling for you this morning? I am aware that a lot of people are overthinking the things what to do, what not to do, how to do it. We're all getting a lot of or some feedback from others, such as, oh, you should do it this way. Oh, you're very good in that. Try do this. Sometimes the feedback we're receiving is sort of like a double-edged sword because if it's received from someone who you just don't believe in, you don't feel inspired by their own actions, all of the sudden that insight, which may be useful for you, is not well received by you. So, what do you think about those who you surround yourself with, people around you? Do you think it has an impact for your mental health, like the well being of yours? Do you think that people around you have impact on you or how you do things or how you don't do things? Um, I'll tell you something now about the childhood, right? My observation, and good morning, everyone. My observation with the client work is that a lot of defenses we're bringing from the childhood. If your parents or guardians or people who raised you giving you some negative feedback, right? As a child, a lot of people would be defensive, such as, why are you always saying this to me? Why does it matter? Just things like that, right? Good morning, everyone. Hi there, hi there. Let me know in the comments how is your day starting off? How is your morning so far? But back to the childhood and the reactions that we had towards our parents or guardians or people who raised us when getting feedback from them, right? That reaction is really coming through in your later life. So when you're an adult and maybe you have a bit of you're giving feedback to your other half, your partner, right? Your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, you see their reaction. And sometimes that reaction is something they are bringing from their younger self. When their parents were telling them, why are you walking like this? Oh, you were crouching. Sit up straight. Or whatever that was, right? Maybe that teenager or child was like, without saying it, but like, just because I'm told, I am now not going to do this. I'm not going to correct this behavior. So, how is your spouse or partner like when they're getting some, I guess, remarks from yourself? And how are you like when you were getting some remarks from your partner? Things that are very plain Jane, very. I actually don't use this saying. I don't know why did I say it, but I was looking for words. And words that I was looking for was, ooh, bird, blackbird with orange beak. But the idea of this was to say that feedback from other people and our reactions to it. A lot of time the reactions that we're carrying are actually coming from way before in our lives. So have you noticed any patterns like that in your life? Because I have noticed that in personal life and I have also noticed that in client work, so in client sessions. What's the time where you are at right now? What's the time where you are at right now? This is my little morning chat for your own selves. Hmm, not too bad. With a new day ahead of us, right? It's really coming to life. Outside is getting brighter and brighter right now. And I am excited for today's day because it is a day full of possibilities. What will be brought? We don't fully yet know because we haven't lived this day yet. Excitement about the possibilities of today, of you having your life in your hands. And that's a huge responsibility. Looking after so many different things, including feeding yourself, earning for living. Stability, financial stability is huge. Financial stability, of course, has links with um, positive effects on our mental health as well. Meaning that if you are struggling financially, of course, it will add more stress to you, to your life, to your body and mind. So, financial stability, having income, providing for yourself, and to many of us, also to those around us, is just an absolute important aspect of our lives. And what do you think? Are people still what people? That's very generic. What about yourself, right? Are you stuck still in that mentality of like not talking about money? Or are you in the mentality of I want to talk about money. I want to know how to make more money. I want to update my CV, send out my CV to, you know, different companies, see what my opportunities are, attend some interviews. Well, you first have to be invited and see if I can better myself. And I think when we're talking about bettering ourselves, there is really a talk about growth and challenge, putting ourselves outside our comfort zone. And it doesn't mean that your current job is your comfort zone, but it means like if you've stayed in your job for several years or maybe 10 or 15, the truth is that the longer you stay, even in the conditions that are not great, even without the salary, raises, even as per inflation, the longer you stay, the more you are sort of invested in the place, the more you're comfortable in the place. And I guess there is a bit of self doubt as well that comes over time. And you're sort of like, well, I've been here this long. I don't know anything else. And oof, do I go now? The answer is yes, you go now. You always go. Nobody else is going to better your life than yourself. I would say never rely financially on your spouse, on your partner. You just shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. You should be able to make your own money. You should be able to be financially stable. You and your spouse both should be financially stable. And things are happening in life. Things can be thrown at you as a couple, job loss or mortgage increase or some sort of financial crash, other things. But just speaking in general, without any specific situations happening, meaning somebody may lose job for some time and need to get back, it could be health related, etc. But my own personal view as a person and as a psychotherapist would be that being financially stable is crucial, and having good working ethics is also a massive part of it, you know? Like, don't be running around helping everyone around you if you don't even help yourself. There are people who are like an absolute helpers and givers, but to the point of like self-exhaustion and like pretty much self-harm. What I mean by that is when you help others, but your life is totally not sorted, like for yourself, like this is harmful behavior. This is like, why are you not doing for this basically for yourself? Why are you not doing this for yourself? You know, mm, there is also the dopamine hit when you're helping someone else. You're getting that maybe there is a bit of praise, maybe there is a bit of like, you're so good. Maybe you don't hear that from many people or anyone, or maybe you don't feel good enough. And now that you are in a position to help, but kind of, that kind of unhealthy help where you're kind of sacrificing yourself, pretty much like missing days at work to help someone else. And I'm not speaking about bringing somebody to the cancer treatment, not that, different kind of help. The help where they kind of could do it themselves. And I know that kind of help because I was that kind of helper. Um, Still with the cool head on my shoulders, I'll put it this way. Still, I guess, seeing the reason in when to help and when am I available to help. But when you're really invested into helping someone, yeah. Morning time is right now, and there is no better time than now. See, I know my stuff. I love a bit of a good vibe. I love a bit of a laugh. And yeah, you have to find what makes you happy, what makes you giggle. And, if you find that in your professional path, within your professional path is even better because like you're at work anyway. Why not to make it fun? Why not to make it fun for you, for people around you? I think that toxic working places is also what we don't want. And workplace that is, like that sunshine yellow. If that was a color, it would be sunshine yellow. That's what I want, and that's what I'm creating. Cheers to that. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone keeping? How is everyone getting on? When you have something to do the next day, right? So let's say it's a morning right now, but let's say it's the night before and you want to do something the next day. And not that you want to do something, but you have to be somewhere. Like you have some sort of important meeting or an appointment. And already from the night before, a person would start being a little bit like anxious about it, nervous. Oh, I don't want to oversleep, cautious. So in the morning, they wake up, they get to the place. Maybe the appointment is not until the later afternoon, and the person almost like can't relax until that important appointment or meeting, right? And maybe the person is sort of overthinking and feeling, how will that go? Is everything going to be okay, etc. And when it's over, the person is like, I'm so relieved I can eat again. I want to, I don't know, change my clothing, chill, relax. If it was some sort of business stuff and you have your, I don't know, three-piece suit on or something like that. And then the person afterwards, like the next evening, they're like, the evening of that day, they're like, wait, what was I so nervous about? What was it about? I did well. It wasn't that scary, but what was I so nervous about? So, most times, it's that the fear of the unknown and overthinking about possible scenarios rather than just going right through it, right? Because it's the fear of the unknown that are keeping people, and that feeling where you just feel like you're putting yourself in a certain state of mind, the state of mind that is pretty much like your own prison that you're creating to yourself, for yourself. So, yeah, psychology, behavioral psychology, how we think and why we think all these things and scenarios is really mind blowing. Developmental psychology is also very interesting, how the development on the person of the person, how we are evolving as we're growing, what kind of things are shaping our thinking, creating the fears, the caregivers, the attachment figures around us, their impact, sometimes good or not so much. And also, it's like, somebody is a mom and dad also for the first time around. So it's not like they always know the answers, even though, yes, they are the elder, they are your attachment figure. And sometimes people may have several kids and still that knowledge didn't come to them. Did they seek for that, for those answers? Did they seek for knowing what's the best way to parent? Is there a best way to parent? There are lots of different people in the world, lots of different personality types, ways of being. People are coming to parenthood with their own trauma, coming with their own battles and difficulties. So much is happening, so much is at stake. And there is this beautiful child as well who is also going through life for the very first time, and their childhood is the only childhood they'll ever have. Then later in life, they will realize that in childhood, they have developed their attachment style and they have evolved and picked up certain fears and also maybe created a lot of happy memories and things to be happy about and proud of. Life is not very straightforward, things are ever changing. This is the exciting part, and this is also the challenging part. The challenging part is to be going through life. I guess some days that existential crisis kicks in, you know, and you're sort of thinking,
Well, one day this journey will end. And, let's say we'll all live long lives and it's gonna be all good, right? Let's put it that way. But the truth is that someday is gonna be the last day of our lives here in this planet, in this world. So, there is a branch of psychotherapy that is existential. Psychotherapy, existentialism, so to speak. I had this modality in my college years. There was a subject called existentialism. It was interesting. I definitely can relate to it. I I would say that people who are listening in today or in general or is working with me as a therapist definitely can see some of my own self being a bit of an existentialist as well. So, a lot to think about. What I meant by all this when I said about life and its duration, and that we all hope to live long lives and, things like that. I don't know why I'm hesitating to say and die in our sleep at a very late old age. It's okay to speak about dying. It's okay to ask others, are you okay? Like, do you feel that you may hurt yourself or do something to yourself? It's okay to speak about death. It's okay to be there for other people. You don't have to be a psychotherapist to ask how someone is keeping. So let's normalize these things. Let's normalize the dying and the living, and let's make more people want to live these lives that are as long as possible. The reason and the motivation why I'm bringing this to you right now is to remind you that today is just as important as it will be tomorrow. Like today is a day in your life, today is a day in my life. I wanted to do live stream early morning, and so I'm doing it. And it's great, grand. You know, I don't need to be liked or loved in order to do something or not to do something. If I really want to do something, if you really want to do something, you will go for it. The name of my channel, by the way, go for it. Just like I went ahead in 2020 and created a YouTube channel. That's just one thing I did. I also worked full time in finance and studied part time for psychotherapy and counseling because I wanted to become a psychotherapist. And that was a very challenging time for years. It wasn't a month or two, it was years. You really have to work with yourself, with your mind, with your body, have to look after yourself and everything, and have to do so many assignments. And there is a lot there. So if I can do it, you can do it. If your neighbor can do it and your family member can do it, you can do it. People, we are very like capable. You're as capable as you think you are, basically. There could be some physical limitations. People may have disability that is intellectual or physical. There are some limitations, but you know what yours are. You would know what your limitations are. Most times, the limitations are the fears of rejection, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, you know? And if this is what's happening to you, psychotherapy is a great place, but you have to find a therapist who is a great fit for you. Psychotherapeutic relationship is hugely important in the psychotherapy, in psychotherapeutic process, in for the therapy to work. Carl Rogers, the founder of humanistic psychotherapy, was saying that congruence, empathy, and unconditional positive regard is fundaments of the talk therapy, psychotherapy, and also that one of the key ingredients to the success of the therapy is the therapeutic relationship. And that's just like anything else. You have to start your therapy and see if you and your therapist are a good fit. So, is a good fit. And that's one of the reasons I am doing what I'm doing right now, like talking, sharing my thoughts, showing what I'm all about, so that for those who are actually looking for a psychotherapist and counselor, you could see what's my vibe like, what I'm like, and you could say, no, thank you, this is not for me. Or you could say, this is exactly what I want. Let's try, let's see how it goes. Yeah. Right, yo. The sun is almost fully out. The birds are fully out for hours. And I've already done something I wanted to do today. So I am ahead of myself. I hope that everyone's day is starting off well. I would like to wish everyone to have a great morning, evening, or day ahead of yourselves. My name is Demonte. I am a psychotherapist and I will talk to you very soon. So look after yourselves and see you soon.